Why is it that when someone walks away from us, our first instinct is to desperately search for reasons, to replay every conversation, analyze every text, and obsess over what went wrong? You're sitting there right now, aren't you? Wondering why she left, what you could have said differently, what you could have done better. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Asking why is often just a distraction, a way to keep yourself emotionally tethered to someone who's already moving forward without you. It's a question that rarely leads to the closure you're seeking. Instead, it keeps you trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and regret that prevents the very growth that might actually make her miss you. Think about it. How many hours have you already spent trying to decode her decision, reaching for explanations that would somehow make this pain make sense? And has any of that rumination actually brought her back? Has it made you feel any better? The reality is that relationships end for countless reasons. Some clear, many complex, and others that even she might not fully understand. You're searching for a simple answer to a question that doesn't have one. And while you're stuck in this pattern, questioning and second-guessing, you're actually moving further away from becoming the man she might genuinely miss. We've been conditioned to believe that if we just understand why something happened, we can fix it. That knowledge equals power. But in matters of the heart, this approach often backfires. You become so focused on solving the puzzle of her departure that you forget to attend to the most important piece, yourself. When you obsess over why she left, you're still centering your life around her choices rather than your own. You're still living reactively, defining yourself through her lens instead of reclaiming your own perspective. And ironically, this is exactly the opposite of what creates the magnetic pull that might eventually make her miss you. So what should you do instead? How do you break free from this cycle and transform yourself into someone she might genuinely find herself thinking about months down the line? First, you need to accept that the relationship, as you knew it, is over. Not temporarily, not on pause. Over. This isn't about playing games or strategic maneuvers to win her back. It's about the much harder work of genuinely letting go. Because here's the paradox. Only by authentically releasing your attachment to the outcome can you create the space for something new to potentially emerge. The path forward isn't about becoming what you think she wanted. It's about becoming who you truly are. The fullest, most authentic version of yourself. When you stop asking why she left and start asking who you want to become in her absence, everything shifts. This journey begins with a period of intentional distance, not as manipulation, but as necessary space for both of you to rediscover yourselves as individuals. This means implementing the no contact rule, not as a tactic, but as an act of respect for her decision, for your healing, and for the natural process that needs to unfold. During this period, your focus needs to turn inward. What parts of yourself did you neglect while in the relationship? What dreams did you put on hold? What friendships faded into the background? Now is the time to reclaim these abandoned pieces of your identity. The most attractive quality in anyone isn't their availability or their persistence. It's their sense of purpose. When you immerse yourself in meaningful pursuits, when you reconnect with what genuinely excites and fulfills you, you naturally become someone worth missing. Not because you're trying to be, but because you're no longer trying at all. You're simply living. Take on the challenges you've been avoiding. Whether it's advancing in your career, improving your physical health, deepening your spiritual practice, or expanding your social connections. Investment in these areas creates a richness in your life that others naturally gravitate toward. Excellence is magnetic, growth is compelling, and both require stepping away from the questions about her and toward questions about yourself. This isn't easy work. There will be days when the pain feels overwhelming, when the temptation to reach out becomes almost unbearable. On those days, remember that true healing isn't linear. Moving forward doesn't mean forgetting. It means integrating the experience into your story without letting it define your future. What you're really doing here is rebuilding your sense of self-worth from within rather than seeking it through her validation. And this is crucial because relationships often end when one person begins to define their value through the other's approval. The moment you start believing that her presence is necessary for your happiness is often the moment the connection begins to unravel. As you recommit to your own growth, something remarkable happens. The desperate energy that often follows a breakup, that frantic, anxious quality that actually repels rather than attracts, begins to dissolve. In its place comes a steadiness, a groundedness that creates curiosity in those who encounter it. And yes, this transformation might eventually reach her attention, whether through mutual friends, social media, or simply through the changes in your energy when your paths eventually cross. But this shouldn't be your motivation. The moment this becomes about her noticing is the moment you've missed the point entirely. The goal isn't to become someone new for her to miss, it's to rediscover the authentic you that perhaps got lost along the way, the you that existed before the relationship, the you that will continue long after, the you that is complete and worthy regardless of her presence or absence in your life. This reclamation of self often involves facing uncomfortable truths. Perhaps you became too accommodating, losing your boundaries in an attempt to keep her happy. Maybe you abandoned your own needs, believing that sacrifice was the price of love. Or possibly you stopped challenging yourself, settling into complacency rather than continuing to evolve. Whatever patterns emerged, now is your opportunity to address them honestly, not to win her back, but to ensure you don't carry these tendencies into your future, whether that future includes her or not. As you commit to this path of authentic growth, your perspective will begin to shift. You might even reach a place where you can feel genuine gratitude for the ending of the relationship, recognizing it as the catalyst for necessary change. This isn't about denying the pain or pretending you wouldn't have chosen differently. It's about extracting meaning from the experience rather than remaining trapped in resentment. And here's where the most profound shift occurs. When you truly embrace this journey of self-reclamation, you might discover that the question changes entirely. It's no longer about why she left or whether she'll miss you. Instead, you might find yourself asking, does the person I'm becoming still want what I thought I lost? Because the truth is, as you evolve, your desires evolve too. The relationship you're mourning might no longer align with the future you're creating. The version of her that exists in your memory belongs to a version of you that you're outgrowing, and there's both loss and liberation in that realization. If your paths do cross again, and in the strange geometry of life they often do, what matters isn't whether she misses the person you were, but whether there's alignment with who you both have become. Real reconnection, if it happens, won't be a return to the past. It will be an entirely new beginning, founded on genuine growth rather than desperate longing. So stop asking why she left. Stop strategizing ways to make her miss you. Instead, become so immersed in your own authentic evolution that your focus naturally shifts away from her absence and toward the presence of your own remarkable life. Create a narrative so compelling that you become too busy living it to wonder who might be watching. Build connections so meaningful that you're no longer haunted by the one that ended. Develop a relationship with yourself so strong that it sustains you regardless of who enters or exits your story. This is the ultimate paradox of human connection. Only when you truly don't need someone to return do you become the kind of person they might genuinely miss. Not because you're playing games or following tactics, but because you've done the real work of becoming more fully yourself. And if she does come to miss you, if she does reach out, curious about the transformation she's glimpsed from afar, you'll be approaching that conversation from a place of wholeness rather than lack, from choice rather than need, from growth rather than grievance. But even if that moment never comes, you'll have gained something far more valuable than the temporary satisfaction of being missed. You'll have reclaimed your power to determine your own worth. You'll have transformed pain into progress. And you'll have discovered that the most important relationship to rebuild wasn't the one that ended, but the one with yourself. So today, make a commitment. Put down the phone, close the text thread, stop scrolling through her social media, and ask yourself not why she left, but who you want to become now that she has. That question, and all the actions that follow from it, is your true path forward. It's the only work that matters, and ironically, the only approach that might eventually cause her to wonder what she walked away from. The choice is yours. You can keep looking backward, trapped in the why of her departure, or you can turn toward your future, focused on the what next of your own remarkable journey.